Acrylic brush is a very important tool, and if you take care of it, it is going to serve you for years. In this video, I'm going to share all these secrets. Coming up. Every time we buy a new acrylic brush, they come in a plastic tubes. Even though it may seem convenient to store them and keep them like this, once you take it out, throw it away immediately. Because once you use your brush for the first time, you will have some monomer on the bristles, and if at least one piece of hair, one bristle, touches the surface, and this is plastic, the monomer is going to evaporate and melt the plastic, and it will stick to it, and it will ruin your brush. Same thing with this plastic cover. Take it off and never use it again. Let me explain the difference between good and not so good brushes. All bristles should come together and come to a sharp point at the end. We do not have the same with this brush. The bristles are together a little bit, but I do not see any sharp point. That means it will be extremely hard to work near the cuticle area or to create a smile line for French nails. Same thing goes to this brush. It looks okay, but there is no sharp point. By the way, this brush is also very old, which means once your brush looks like this, it is time to replace it. Now let's take a look at this brush. So this looks pretty good again, but the bristles do not come to a sharp point anymore. So between these brushes, I will definitely choose this one. This is one of my favorite brushes by Modelones number 8, and I would like to show you how to prep the brush when it's new for your work. Do not rush and do not put it right away into the monomer, because there is some special glue that is applied on the brush bristles when they're manufactured to keep them together. So first you need to clean it. You can use different tools for it, but be very gentle. So first we need to gently separate the bristles, and you may notice some white residue in between them. That's completely normal. It looks like a dust or like a debris, and you need to get rid of it. Some brushes have more of it, some of them have less, but it's important to clean it completely. I'm using an orange wood stick like a brush to separate it. Mostly it's located on the free edge of the bristles. This is how you can also check if it's all clean in between or not. This is the new brush, but once you use it for the first time and we will have some monomer on the bristles, do not ever touch it with your bare hands. Finally, to get it ready for work, you need to take some clean monomer, put the brush completely inside of the dappen dish, and carefully clean the excess. And then the brush is supposed to look exactly what it looked like when you just bought it. Sharp edge, all bristles come to one sharp point. This is my client for today. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you already recognized her. This is Anna, and I'm back in Moscow for a little while, so we immediately booked an appointment, and I'm going to do extensions for her. It's been about 5 months. We didn't do any services, and I recommended to her if she will have a chance to at least do some kind of fills in the nail salons. But she faced the exact same problem she had a couple years ago. So she went to 2 nail salons, and they said that sorry, we cannot do extensions for you. And from one side, I understand it, because if a client comes to me with some kind of issue and I'm just not qualified to do that, I will definitely say no to. But on the other hand, I felt so sorry for Anna, because we came such a long way to improve the condition of her hands and nails, and now we need to start over again. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have a special playlist of Anna. She has been a client of mine for 2 years now, and 2 years ago her nails looked slightly different, and we improved it by constantly doing cuticle care, manicures, and extensions. Since we are starting over, we are going to do acrylic extensions too, using one of my favorite brands, Modelones. And now I'm pushing back the cuticles on a few fingers. The cuticle is spreading across the nail plate, so it covers almost the half of the nail. And when Anna first time came to me, it was not even possible to push it back. But now, even though it's a little hard, it's still possible. So I'm gently push them back with orange wood stick, and then I'm going to proceed with a dry electric file manicure. When pushing back cuticles like this, it is very important to not separate it, to try to keep it in one piece. If you see that it's not possible, it's better not to continue and try to remove it in a different way, such as using electric nail file only. But here I can see that it is possible to push it back, so I do that. And then I continue with flame bead. This is a diamond flame shaped bead. Red abrasive mark, the speed is 14,000 rotations per minute. Look at this pinky, it's so tiny, it seems like even the nail drill bit is bigger than the nail. So I work very gently because there's a lot to work on. Since Anna worked as a chef in a restaurant, many times she had different kinds of cuts or burns, and when I asked what is it, she said, "Oh, no problem, like I got it at work." And I just noticed that I don't see anything like this on her hands now. She had a simple explanation for it. She's been on vacation during last couple weeks, and I was so happy about it because previously she didn't have any vacation for, I believe, 3 years or something like this, and I could tell how tired she was. By the way, when she started doing services with me, she was a student, so she was working and studying at the same time, and I just remember how burned out she was. And now, after vacation, I could tell that she feels so much better. Once I clean everything under the cuticle, I gently push them up, so it will be easier to do the next step, which is trimming the aponicum and the cuticle. Every time I teach people how to do dry manicure, I always explain that technically trimming or cutting aponicum is not necessary, but in some cases, you just will not be able to thoroughly perform the service or even extensions without it. When the skin is spreading halfway onto the nail plate, it will not be possible to properly prep the nail and apply the product because the skin will be always on the way, and also we will have lifting in this case. After this, I gently take off the surface shine and sometimes file the free edge. On most nails, it's not possible because the free edge is extremely short, but on some nails, I can do it slightly, so it's better to keep it smooth. And I'm using 180 grit file and use the side of the file so I can reach the furthest corners. Then it's time to trim the cuticles with manicure scissors. The most important part of this is that we only need to trim the part that we pushed up. And second is that your tool, whether it's nippers or manicure scissors, they should be sharp, because once they're not sharp, it just will not be possible to make a proper cut without damaging the skin or cutting the client. It's better to try to trim it in one piece to avoid the occurrence of hangnails in the future. Sometimes it's not possible if the cuticle is already split, and we can do it in a few takes, but most importantly, do not leave this super small, almost invisible at the beginning hangnails, because eventually with this type of skin, it will simply lead to bigger and more annoying hangnails. Then we proceed to the prep and application. And I already know, since we tried so many products from the beginning, when Anna has short nails, acrylic extensions work best for her. I apply dehydrator, let dry, acid primer, let dry too, and then I'm going to do extensions. we decided to do something fun and colorful since this is summertime, and I picked two colors of Modelones acrylic collection. They have different kind of glitter inside, and this first one is neon orange. It's slightly transparent but not too transparent. I mean, we still, I think, will not be able to see the nail through, and also there's glitter inside. So I will be doing extensions without using forms or tips because we are doing short nails. And first I was thinking of doing oval shape because it will make sense, because this is the easiest shape to do on short nails and usually it lasts a little better. But Anna said that she really wants her favorite shape, square, because she still has another week of her vacation. I said sure, but obviously we are making them short. Almost the same length as the edge of the finger, maybe just slightly longer. And I love this technique, it works great with acrylic, and the point of this method is that you need to use a medium to almost dry consistency when building the free edge. As the product cures, you can gently stretch it out to the free edge and create an extensions. And then I slightly seal it with a clear acrylic. Then we need to wait about 30 to 60 seconds until the product sets. We can pinch it, and this is how we get this beautiful square shape. I think it looks pretty even when it's matte. What do you guys think? And here's another color, light blue. This one is also a little bit of a jelly color, and I like that the foil or flakes that are inside, they also have this orange golden look, which will make it perfectly match with the orange color that we already have. Let's talk about the topic of our video, which is acrylic brush. So currently I'm using Modelones number 8, and this size is perfect for short nails and for medium length nails. If you would like to create something longer, I recommend using a bigger size, such as 10 or 12. Every time we pick up the bead, we have a little bit of acrylic powder and acrylic itself inside of the brush. So the main secret of making your acrylic brush last for years is to always keep it clean. Do not ever let acrylic stay inside, and this is how you do it. Every time you pick up a bead, every time you touch the surface of the nail, then you need to clean it using a dry tissue. Another secret is that do not ever work with wet consistency. And by the way, this secret is great not only for the brush, but if you're using the consistency where you have more monomer than you're supposed to, the brush will get too wet and it's just so much easier to have some particles of the powder to get stuck inside, and you will not even notice that, especially if you're working with a powder like this, like a clear one or semi-transparent. And then over time, this acrylic is going to cure inside of the brush, and unfortunately it's not going to work as it's supposed to. So my best recommendation is that to always clean your brush with a tissue. If you suspect that there is some acrylic inside, you need to wash it in clean monomer immediately and try to get rid of it by using orange wood stick or a small brush for eyelashes. I also recommend you to have a separate brush for glitters and another separate brush for bright colors, such as orange, red, black, and one regular brush will be for nails like this, when you're using light colors or transparent or just regular nude pink. Every time you finish your work, wash the brush in a clean monomer, flatten the bristles so you will see and just check if there's no acrylic stuck in between the bristles. Then wash it again and put it in the position like your brush had when you first bought it, with a sharp edge at the end. Do not ever keep it in a pencil's tray with the bristles up, because this is how the monomer is going to go into this metallic part and you will notice that the brush is yellowing. Always keep it in the flat laying position. If you do not have a proper metallic cover for your brush, do not use something plastic. You can use a regular foil to keep the bristles safe. With correct use and proper care, any acrylic professional brush may serve you for years. So please take care of it, because we all know that good quality brushes are not super cheap. And also this is quite an important tool, because once your brush is clogged, once you're not able to make it sharp at the end, you will not be able to do a good cuticle care or shaping. Meanwhile, I'm done with the product application and it is time to file and shape the nails. First, I would like to make sure that we have the matching length for all nails. The index, middle, and ring finger should have the same length, while the pinky can be slightly shorter and the thumb slightly longer. And also you need to make sure that both hands have the matching length. Since Anna's skin is super close to her sidewalls, I also need to gently push them back, and every time you file and shape the nails, especially near the cuticle area or along the sidewalls, also try to make sure that you will not hurt or cut your client again. And for me, this part is always a bit challenging because we just did a dry manicure and I definitely do not want to ruin it. Then I buff the surface of the nails, and then this is one of the most important parts of dry manicure, especially for Anna, because this is how we will make sure that she will not have any new hangnails. This one is called the buffing bead. This is sphere-shaped diamond bead with red abrasive mark. The speed is 15,000 rotations per minute, and I technically buff the skin around the nail to make sure there's no skin leftovers and everything will be super smooth. By the way, when we were doing nails, I opened my last video with Anna's nails and read your comments to her, and she was so excited and so touched. She doesn't speak English very well, so I translated them for her, and she just wanted to say thank you guys for all the support, and she really feels better about it. And this time we are going to try to make it to the next fill again. When the skin is clean and smooth at this point, we usually wash the hands and then we're going to apply the top coat. Even though it looks pretty with matte, for glitter it's still better to have a glossy top coat. So I seal it with Modelones top coat cure for 60 seconds and the summer design for Anna is ready. Let me guys know what do you think. The links to Modelones products as well as the discount codes will be in the description box as usual. I noticed that at least 70% of my views are from non-subscribers, so I would really appreciate if you will take a moment to subscribe, because this way you will not miss my new tutorials and product reviews. Thank you, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!